It started as just another rumor. Something whispered in forums, half-joking comments on YouTube videos, and obscure posts buried deep in the internet. But the more people talked about it, the harder it became to ignore. Herobrine. A name that sent chills down the spines of even the most seasoned Minecraft players. At first, no one believed it. After all, Minecraft is just a game, right? Harmless. Blocks and pixels. Nothing more. But then, the stories began to pile up. And the evidence? That was the most terrifying part. Imagine playing alone, deep in a survival world you've poured hours into. Everything seems normal, until it's not. You turn around, and there's something standing on the edge of your render distance. Not a zombie. Not a skeleton. No, it's something else. A figure with the default Steve skin, but his eyes? Empty. Pure white. Lifeless. Before you can process what you're seeing, he's gone. Vanished. Like he was never there. But you know what you saw. And from that moment on, your world is never the same. The first known mention of Herobrine appeared on a Minecraft forum in 2010. A user claimed to have spotted a mysterious figure in their single-player game, something that shouldn't even be possible. They described how the figure would watch them from afar, always just out of reach, always disappearing before they could get too close. But what really shook people was what came next. Strange structures began appearing, pyramids in the middle of the ocean, tunnels with no clear beginning or end, trees with their leaves stripped away. Things no player could explain. And when they tried to talk about it, their posts were mysteriously deleted. As if someone, or something, didn't want the truth to get out. It didn't take long before the stories spread like wildfire. Players across the world began sharing their own encounters. Some described how Herobrine would follow them, appearing only in glimpses, always watching. Others told of how their worlds would change, entire biomes corrupted, livestock disappearing without a trace. And the scariest reports? Those came from players who swore they heard something. Faint whispers through their speakers, too distorted to understand, but undeniably there. Like someone, or something, was trying to communicate. Of course, the official line from Mojang was that Herobrine was a hoax. Just a community-made creepypasta. They even added jokes about him in their patch notes, claiming to remove Herobrine with every update. But if he never existed, why were they so eager to deny it? Some fans believed Herobrine was nothing more than a myth, a shared delusion created by overactive imaginations. But others? They weren't so sure. And the deeper you dig, the harder it becomes to dismiss the evidence. One of the most unsettling theories suggests that Herobrine isn't just a ghost, he's the ghost of someone specific. According to this theory, Herobrine is the spirit of Notch's deceased brother. The only problem? Notch, the creator of Minecraft, has publicly stated that he doesn't have a brother. But what if that's not the whole truth? What if there's something he's not telling us? Some even speculate that Herobrine is a remnant of a failed experiment, code left behind when the game's world generation was still being developed. An entity trapped between lines of code, forced to wander endless worlds, searching for something, or someone. But here's where it gets even weirder. There are reports from players who claim to have encountered Herobrine while completely offline. No internet connection. No multiplayer servers. Just them and their single-player world. And yet, the figure still appeared. How do you explain that? It's almost as if he's not just part of the game. Like he's something else entirely, something that's found a way to reach beyond the code. The more you read about Herobrine, the more disturbing the patterns become. Players who've encountered him often report experiencing strange glitches afterward, textures corrupting, chunks disappearing, entire worlds becoming unplayable. Some even claim their computers behaved oddly, as if the entity had left a mark that extended beyond the game itself. And there's one detail that keeps coming up again and again: those eyes. Pure white. Empty. Soulless. Like he's watching. Waiting, and maybe the most unsettling part: no one's ever gotten close enough to see what he really is. Every attempt to approach him ends the same way: he vanishes. But if he's just a glitch, why does he seem to react? Why does he watch you? Why does he follow? What does he want? There are whispers that certain seeds, special world generation codes, are more likely to attract Herobrine's attention. Players who use these seeds report increased sightings and more aggressive encounters. Some even claim that the longer you stay in these worlds, the more intense the activity becomes. As if something is trying to break through. And if you believe the most chilling accounts, there are players who've gone looking for Herobrine and never come back. The game itself seems to hold clues if you know where to look. Certain structures, thought to be random, resemble symbols found in ancient texts, markings believed to summon or trap spiritual entities. Could it be possible that somewhere within Minecraft, there's a hidden trigger? A forgotten piece of code that, when activated, opens a door to something beyond our understanding? And if that door is open, what else might be able to come through? The developers might laugh it off. The skeptics might roll their eyes. But for those who've seen him, who've felt that cold, inexplicable fear creep down their spine, there's no joke about it. They know he's real. And if you play long enough, if you venture deep enough into the game's code, you might find out for yourself. There are even stories of players who tried to dig deeper, to find proof of Herobrine's existence. Some attempted to analyze the game's code, searching for anything unusual. And what they found? Lines of data that shouldn't be there. Fragmented pieces of an unknown entity, tucked away in the shadows of the game. Some even claim to have found hidden messages buried within the code, messages that read things like, "He watches," or "Wake up." But the most disturbing discovery? A series of corrupted files that, when accessed, cause the game to crash in ways no one can explain. But the more people search, the more dangerous it becomes. There are accounts of players who became obsessed with finding Herobrine, players who stayed up for days, refusing to log off, convinced they were close to uncovering the truth. Some of those players disappeared from online communities entirely. Their accounts abandoned, as if they were never there. And those who came back, they weren't the same. They spoke of seeing things even when they weren't playing, shadowy figures lurking in the corners of their rooms, whispers in the dark when they tried to sleep. One particularly chilling account comes from a streamer who claimed to have captured Herobrine on camera during a live broadcast. Viewers watched in real time as the figure appeared behind him in the game, and then, just as suddenly, his feed cut to black. The stream never resumed. His channel, once active and full of life, went silent. And when curious fans tried to contact him, there was no response. It was as if he had vanished. Some say he was too scared to speak about what he saw. Others believe something followed him out of the game, and then, there are the dreams. People who've spent too much time in Herobrine-infected worlds often report having the same nightmare. In it, they find themselves trapped in an endless forest. The fog too thick to see through. They wander for what feels like hours until, eventually, they see a figure in the distance. Pale. still, with those glowing white eyes. No matter how fast they run, he always gets closer. And when he finally reaches them, they wake up, cold, sweating, and unable to shake the feeling that they brought something back with them. Some believe that Herobrine isn't just an accident, that he's part of something much older. An ancient digital entity that latched onto the game, using it as a vessel to reach into our world. The game itself, with its infinite worlds and endless possibilities, could be the perfect breeding ground for something that exists beyond our understanding. What if Herobrine isn't trying to scare us? What if he's trying to escape? If you search for Herobrine today, you'll find countless videos, screenshots, and personal accounts. Some are easily debunked, pranks, mods, or cleverly edited hoaxes. But others defy explanation. And those who know the truth warn against looking too closely. Because once you see him, once you know he's real, it's only a matter of time before he sees you, too. There are even rumors of a hidden server, a place where Herobrine's presence is strongest. They say that players who join this server are never the same again. Strange things happen there, time moves differently, and the usual rules of the game break down. No one knows who runs it, or why it exists, but those who enter rarely speak of what they find. And those who do, they all describe the same thing, an endless void, with Herobrine watching from the darkness. So the next time you load up Minecraft, pay attention. Watch for the signs, the stripped trees, the strange tunnels, the distant figure with glowing white eyes. And if you see him, if he watches you, whatever you do, don't go looking for him. Because once you invite Herobrine into your world, he may never leave. And if the stories are true, he may already be closer than you think.